I had not gone through the mourning process.
Yeah.
I got divorced and I just kept going. When I left and resigned, I took that money I was spending and I built a shop. We then had problems with the municipality that we are not allowed to run a business, and I closed down the business. It was painful because I had invested literally all my money.
I can imagine,
building
yeah.
it.
You know Jola Mopil.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, yeah.
Skin tone is yeah, okay. I don't want.
I've got a passion for developing people.
no, that was me.
I could have mistaken you for Elite.
Pheli podcast with your host. Dumelang and welcome to another episode here, Pheli podcast with your host, Brian Mshengu Shabalala, Mshengu Sepitori. Today we're doing a bit of a follow-up episode. So the last time we had as a guest Tshego Kekana, who we went through her journey in business and all, but there was also a story, a bit of a spin-off, how she assisted someone who was about to close business here high, from one entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, female entrepreneurs, black female entrepreneurs, helping each other. Beautiful story that we wanted to highlight more podcasting. So today we have our beautiful guest, Botshelo Huma. Botshelo.
Hi.
Okay.
Kitong.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming. A re bolele ka Botshelo. Re tlo tsena mo storing se segolo se mare. A re bolele ka Botshelo ke mang?
Okay, Botshelo is originally from Rustenburg.
Okay.
Ngwanako Northwest.
Yeah.
It's just that I've been based in Pretoria, Atteridgeville, for a long time. So after I finished matric, I left and I stayed in America for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then I came back home, and ever since I've came back, so 2014, 2015, I've been here. So I'm a lover of life. I like traveling. I'm a singer.
You did say about singing as well, but let me let you continue.
Yeah, so that's who I am. Basically, I'm a businesswoman. I'm a singer. I'm a bubbly person.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in God, and that's in a nutshell who I am.
I think we're leaving out something. So explained earlier on, makeup artist.
Oh yes, I'm a professional makeup artist, and I like putting professional because I did go to school. For that.
So tell us about that. The process itself.
Yeah, so after I came back from the States, I was obviously, looking for a job.
Yeah.
And I finally got the job. But in the process of me working, I wanted something, because I'm passionate about people. So I wanted to do something that will allow me to be in the space of people, every single time,
Yeah.
And I love beauty. So I'm a person who likes looking good. Whether I'm going to buy
you look
bread.
good, by the way.
Thank you.
You can see.
Thank you.
You got your outfit, you got your makeup, and everything.
No, you must always
it's well
look
put
good.
together,
You must always look good, because
yeah.
people, the first impression, how is how you look.
How you look,
know. So sometimes I don't have to say.
How do I look though?
You look good.
Oh, okay.
You look good. Yes, your haircut, everything.
I wanted to get some review of the haircut because I changed it a bit.
Oh no, it looks good.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
So I'm someone who believes in investing in how they look, in their appearance. And I saw that there's a lot of women who like looking good, but sometimes they don't know how to do it. So the initial dream of going to a makeup school was to also open classes where I teach people how to do their own makeup on a daily basis. With me working and me being a singer, because I think singing as well is a business, you're a brand, so you have to always sell yourself. And I think the passion for entrepreneurship started when I was in the States.
Okay.
And I was working as a nanny, so.
Oh, okay. King au pair.
Au pair, yes, I was an au pair. And I was very fortunate. The first family that I got was a South African family.
Oh, wow.
So it never really felt like I'm away from home. Because obviously, most families that get au pairs are like really wealthy families.
Yeah.
Because they have to give you a car.
Yeah.
You have to have your own apartment in the
Yeah,
house,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's big houses.
Yeah.
They have to pay for your school fees, so you're working, but you're also attending school.
Yeah.
And I think my passion for entrepreneurship started there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's when I got to meet the likes of Louis Vega.
Oh, wow.
And
Amazing. Wow.
yeah, and I
yeah.
had to obviously sell myself
yeah.
with those kind of people. I
Yeah.
remember there's an event that both DJ Fresh and Black Coffee started in Miami. I'm not quite sure, I forgot the name
Yeah.
of the event, but it's like a musical event where
Yeah.
they introduce house music to the world.
Yeah.
And they had this particular event every year in Miami.
Yeah.
And I went there, and obviously it's so easy. It's funny. It's easy to have a conversation with Black Coffee in another country than here.
Is it? Wow. Yeah.
Because he gets
I
excited.
suppose he gets excited
Yes,
when he's
we are
seeing
from
another home
home.
girl.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's this whole vibe. Yeah.
And that's when I started having to sell myself and make people aware of this is who I am. I'm from this place, and I sing. And
Well, I wanted to ask Corey.
Yeah.
Were you selling the singing
Yes.
part
Yes,
more
definitely.
than anything?
I mean,
Yeah.
you're in New York, you're
Yeah,
in Chicago,
yeah,
why not?
yeah.
And I did get, good collaborations. I
Wow.
did meet,
Yeah.
make great connections from there. So when I came back home, it was easy
Yeah.
for me to speak to Lulo Cafe and say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm back, can we do something?
Yeah.
Although we never got a chance to do something.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
if you say Botshelo, he would know who I am.
So, Botshelo Huma singing what genre?
House.
House, okay.
So I've made a name for myself in the house side of music. So I've done a couple of tracks with Chima Music.
Oh, wow. I know
aware
Chima
of
Music.
them. We actually did a track, and that album won a Metro FM award back then. I've worked with the likes of Hypnosis. I've worked with the likes of Beat Mushini.
Yeah. Trompia, Homeboy. Yeah.
So I've worked
our
with
own
a couple
legends.
of
Yeah.
So that's what I do on the side.
On the side, yeah.
Yeah.
So now this was straight after high school, is it?
Yes.
The au pairing.
Yes. So
And
I
you
came
study-
to Pretoria.
Yeah.
I came to Pretoria after matric.
Okay.
I studied at Varsity College for a year.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
I left.
Yeah.
So I left for America for 3 years, and then I came back. And when I came back, I was based here.
Yeah.
And the other highlight that I forgot to mention
Yeah.
was that I opened for Mr. South Africa
Oh, okay.
last year.
Oh, last year. even,
Yes,
yeah.
just last
Yeah,
year in
just
November.
last year.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
was the singer who was performing at that
Wow.
big,
You do have a familiar face. You look like I've seen you
Maybe you've seen
somewhere.
me on
I've seen
TV.
you on TV. Because I've been trying to, wrap my head around it. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
where have I seen her?
Yeah, maybe you've seen me on TV. I've been on Gem Early.
Oh, yeah,
as
yeah,
well. Remember that time you would win by speaker or
Speaker,
something?
yeah. Kana kwa sababu vimesh.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. I
Yeah.
was there. I won number 1, but
Oh,
they
wow.
don't give you the speakers or whatever. You
Is
get
it?
money worth.
Oh, with
The
the product, yeah.
So I've tried. I've tried to penetrate.
To
the,
penetrate,
the
yeah.
industry.
Yeah, so this is now before your current business. This is
Yes,
way before your current
Way
business. So you're mostly pushing music at the time.
at the time, correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
I
Have
was
you
there,
worked
yeah.
anywhere besides the au pairing?
Yeah, I did. I did a couple of works here and there.
Yeah.
I'm really not an office person.
Yeah.
So I would get bored very easily because
Yeah.
I think at heart I'm an artist. I want to be
Yeah.
out there. So maybe if I got a job that required me to
Yeah,
go there, I would have stayed. But I never got, unfortunately. But the biggest company that I worked for that I stayed for a long time was CIDP.
Okay.
It's like a construction.
Yeah, it's a
company that-
construction grading. Yeah.
Grading, yes.
Yeah.
I worked there for a while, and that's when I started the business, and I resigned from the job when I started the chopped veggies business.
The chopped veggies.
Yeah.
When did you start the chopped veggies?
Right in the middle of COVID.
Oh, you also started in COVID.
Right in the middle of COVID.
Seems like COVID was good for a lot of people.
Well, it was very good for the business.
For the business.
Extremely good. So I got pregnant. I was married by that time.
Okay.
I got pregnant. Waited the 3 months.
Maternity,
maternity.
yeah.
And the idea started, developing while I was on maternity.
Yeah.
I went back to work. I started the business.
Yeah.
So I would work throughout the night.
Yeah.
During the day, in the morning, I go to work.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm a new mom.
Yeah.
I have to now balance being a mom,
Yeah.
being a work professional, and now the side hustle, and
Yeah.
still have gigs because I
Yeah.
would get gigs here.
You still
and
get
there.
gigs at
Yes,
the time, wow.
yes. I used to perform a lot, go music at
So you're
nights.
performing, you chopping veggies, you taking care of the baby, there's the
Exactly.
husband, all of that in
All of
one
that.
mix, yeah. Ne?
Yes. And
But listen, it's about mosadi ke mbokoto ka nnete,
no, if you put your mind
yeah,
to it,
yeah.
you'll do
But
it.
we know, I mean, our grannies and what used to do a whole lot of things
Exactly.
kind of go on, so it makes
Exactly.
sense. Wow.
Yeah, so I think because the business started and it blew quickly,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, you know what, I'm quitting.
Why did you decide that business specifically?
It was purely because of how my life was unbalanced. You know,
Yeah.
I have to come back from work and I have to cook. You know, when you're
Yeah,
married,
yeah.
you can't, some things you
Yeah,
can't really
something
sideline
can,
them.
yeah.
You have to do them.
Yeah.
Right? And name stress, that thing, I already go fitla 6. I must
Yeah.
cook, I must chop, I must, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And I was like, if I'm feeling like this, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are feeling
Oh,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And obviously, the chop veggies, but I wanted to bring it in a different light. Ya gore, whatever that you order today,
Yeah.
rest be assured, it was cut
Today.
right?
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what sold the business. People like the fact that they
Yeah.
got dilo tse di fresh.
I see the sell buying. You get it on the day it's cut. Wow.
Exactly. And people that, you know, now we've got families and it happens that one of your parents
Yeah.
who you are left with passes on.
Yeah.
Ha ona stokvel se le sa gore go tla tla batho, ba
Yeah.
tlo thusa eng. And also I got a lot of clients like that to say I need 20 kg because I don't know about to chop.
Yeah.
And I think from there the momentum just picked up.
How did you launch it though? I mean, the process. Botshelo Huma today, day one. What happened?
I think I launched it and I sold it to the new mummies.
Okay.
So I made it look like you can get fresh vegetables
Yeah.
to puree them so
Oh.
that you can give your child. So
Yeah,
if you've got a newborn baby that you are introducing
Yeah.
solid foods,
Yeah.
you know, and that's how I introduced the business. And
Do you use what, social media or your
yes,
networks
I used Facebook. I was at the time still staying at an estate, so I would use the WhatsApp. You know, the estate in
the estate in a
groups.
WhatsApp group?
Yes,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
how I launched.
And you
the
got good
business.
responses out of them.
Very good.
Wow.
Because remember that time,
Yeah.
people were experimenting.
Yeah,
You
people
are in
were-
the
yeah,
house the whole
yeah,
day.
yeah.
So people were experimenting with food. People were starting
Yeah,
new skills
yeah.
and whatnot. So the service made sense at
Yeah.
that time, and I think that's why it blew the way that it blew.
And then you decided the job, okay, let me just leave the job and focus solely on the business.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
cushion, the husband is there.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
husband is doing well. We can be
you
okay.
can manage, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And Leanne, he was encouraging her, no man, why don't you just
That's
fully
beautiful, yeah.
focus on this thing? And that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you took it from, I suppose, were you doing it at home at the time? And to the shop, the transition to actually going to the premise where there's a landlord and
Yeah.
what informed that decision and why?
Yeah, obviously I started at Kamuntu.
Yeah.
You know, I was using my garage.
Yeah.
And when I left and resigned, I took that money I was spending and
Okay.
I built a shop. So I built a shop go my husband's home because they had a
Oh.
very big yard. So
Yeah.
we built a proper structure.
Still in Pretoria.
Still in Pretoria.
Okay.
Because I was avoiding tabayadi rent and whatnot
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's still a new baby,
Yeah.
right? So I took that money, invested it, and we built.
Yeah.
We designed what I wanted. We built. We opened. The business kicked off.
Yeah.
And we then had problems with the municipality that we are not allowed to run a business. Kamo premising tsantu, you know, all those bylaws. And unfortunately, it was painful because I had invested literally all my money.
I can
into
imagine,
building
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And for now to know that I have to close it down
Yeah.
and find other, premises to operate from. And that's how I ended up, moving into a commercial property.
Yeah.
This was still in Pretoria North. So we had that place. It didn't work for many reasons.
Is that
And
the
then-
commercial
at the commercial property. So that didn't work for a lot of reasons. I closed down. And I closed down the business for like a month or two because I was still sourcing out a different premise. And I found it. I
Yeah.
opened, and that's currently where the business is right now in Capital Park.
Yeah. So all in all, how long have you been operating?
I think this is my 4th year.
It's your 4th year.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. August
So you
will be my
started
4th year.
2020. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the challenges, I mean, before we're going to get to this particular challenge, and
Yeah.
part of the big reason you're here, but
Yeah.
some of the challenges you may have experienced, even from when you were working at home, what were your immediate challenges?
I mean, the challenges were a lot, but when I started, obviously, I was bound to make a lot of mistakes
Yeah.
because I was getting into an industry that I didn't really know that
Yeah.
much. So it was that situation of learning as I go, making mistakes and learning from them as I go. The biggest challenge was obviously getting proper suppliers, who provide proper vegetables, because I wanted to attract a certain target market. So the challenge was that I was trying to give a certain quality, but that was affordable to like your normal South African,
Yeah.
Obviously you have to look at the economy. Are
Yeah.
people going to be able to afford what you are
Yeah.
providing?
Yeah.
So that was another challenge to try and bridge the gap. The other challenge obviously would be to get a team. I've never ran a business as big as the one that I have now.
Yeah.
So getting the team, today they come to work, tomorrow they don't come to
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
Sometimes after you pay them, they don't pitch on
Yeah.
a Monday.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I've went through that. I've went
Yeah.
through challenges of having stock in the shop, and when you leave, you come back, stock was short.
Stock was short,
You have
yeah.
to have arguments with people in the shop.
Yeah.
So I've had those kind of challenges, but obviously as well, when you run a business like I am alone, it suffers at some point. There's
Yeah,
gonna be areas
yeah, there's
where
gonna be
it's gonna
shrinkage,
suffer,
it's gonna suffer, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where the idea was like, let me employ people, which I did.
Yeah.
And it changed, it made a great improvement to the business.
Were you working with the people in the business itself? Like, I mean, were you also employed in your business?
Yes, I've
Okay.
always been employed ever since inception.
Okay.
I've never left it because I just believed that it was not at a point where I could leave it.
Leave it yet, yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I'm still coming to that part where I could leave it, right?
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm still very much hands-on.
Okay, and your staff complement, like how many people do you have?
I used to have, before this big
Yeah.
issue, I used to have 2 permanent people
Okay.
and 3 part-time. So we would call them when we have like big orders.
Big orders, yeah.
But unfortunately, when we started
Yeah.
having issues, I had to let go of
Yeah.
which was very painful because when you've employed someone, you know that you've made a change in their lives,
Yeah,
and when
yeah.
you take that away, it's like you are sending them back to that hole
Yeah.
where you got them out of.
Yeah, and unfortunately, sometimes you have to make those tough choices, tough
Exactly.
decisions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard. It's
hard,
to
yeah.
even sitting with that and have a meeting like that with someone to say, Ish, I don't think from next month,
I'm gonna be able to.
and terminate that contract. So, but that's unfortunately that's what I had to do.
What do you think? And I think now we're getting into this issue. Yeah, the post, yeah, Tshego Kekana, where she posted her. I mean, you guys had a conversation, and you were telling her, "I chomi, ke sharp." That's all like and we've all had that. I can feel her no at that point, and say hoa sure no, skatswalla chomi, but when now you like no, it's again it's fine kya utlwa mara. Ha re tswale ke eng e le dileng to challenge you? Ke eng o nahanang hore you started seeing the sales di drop or what, if you were to identify, maybe if you were able to?
I think the biggest thing that led to that problem was the fact that I was running the business alone.
Oh.
So I was talking to suppliers, fetching stock alone. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
chopping
yeah,
the
yeah,
vegetables.
yeah,
I was taking orders. I
yeah,
was packing the orders. I
yeah,
was delivering the orders.
yeah,
I was marketing the business
yeah,
all alone.
yeah,
So at
correct.
some point, I get tired. I forget to post. I
Yeah,
forget to
yeah,
respond to someone. You know,
yeah,
after
yeah,
2 days, that person has already lost interest. That's
yeah,
me losing money.
yeah,
You know, and the fact that if you look at my brand, if you go on my social media pages, my product is very eye appealing, so
yeah,
people buy because of what they see.
yeah,
So if I'm not consistent with being on social media, I lose clients, because remember, social media, you're attracting even the ones that
yeah,
don't know about you.
yeah,
So it got to a point where I was relying on the clients that know me, so I was no way attracting
new
new
clients,
clients.
yeah.
And I think that became,
And you were not retaining some clients as
no, I
well,
was
yeah.
not.
So,
I was
yeah,
not. And I will take full responsibility for that,
yeah,
because I saw that it damaged the business to a certain
yeah,
extent, where I
yeah,
would not get a lot of orders. I mean, from getting 20 orders a day
yeah,
to literally one order,
yeah,
that sometimes I
wow,
would have to return because it wouldn't make financial sense.
yeah.
So I think that was the biggest thing that got me to that point.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yo, I can imagine. And, in all honesty, it must have been a challenging period for you. And what are you thinking at that time? Are you already thinking, I'm tired. I want to get
I
out of
was
this.
exhausted. I was emotionally
Emotionally exhausted, yeah.
And I think I was also exhausted because I had tried all avenues. You know, when you've got a circle of friends, when you think, or ish, if you're bride, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Second phone is 2 months ago. He told me 1, 2, 3.
Already, yeah.
So you are at a point where everyone has assisted. You've tried to talk to as many people to say, please post for me, please share my stuff, and it's not working.
It's not working, yeah.
And at some point, I also felt like it won't work because I'm still alone. Because the truth of the matter is, no business will ever grow if you are a one-man show.
When
You
this
need a
is,
team.
yeah,
You need a team to grow. You need a team to make the business reach a certain
Yeah.
level. So as long as I'm still working alone, unfortunately, I will not hit that ceiling. And I think I just decided maybe it's time, because remember as well, I got through divorce.
I was about to ask that.
Yeah.
Was your husband at that moment?
We had divorced.
Divorced in what year?
The divorce was finalized last year, December.
Yeah, but you've been apart
For,
since
for I think for a year.
for a year,
When the
which is
divorce was, if I'm not mistaken.
2022,
Yes.
20.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had not gone through the mourning process.
Yeah.
I got divorced and I just kept going.
Yeah.
I was just on survival mode.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when you are divorced,
And you're bound to crash at some
yeah,
point,
and you've got a baby.
Yeah,
and
you got a baby,
you're
it's all
fighting
this,
with this
and
person,
it's business,
messy,
yeah.
and now it's business. So I think I got to the point where everything just came crashing down. And that day when I spoke to Tshego was
Yeah,
the day
yeah.
when I decided I'm accepting my situation for what it is. Let me go and regroup because it's not working out. Yeah.
And when you're thinking of going home, or do you still have parents?
Yes, my mom
Okay.
is still very much alive.
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
God.
yeah.
And that's where my child stays.
Okay.
So I also looked at it like, maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah,
Ke nne le
o boele
ngwana,
hae, o
you
nne
know,
le
ngwana
ngwana.
is there.
What's your mom saying ka nako when you?
Oh, she's devastated. She was very devastated because she was also at a point where she couldn't help.
Yeah.
She wanted to, the willingness was there, but she just didn't have the power to
The
do
capacity as well, yeah.
And it's heartbreaking when you've invested everything in a business.
Yeah.
Remember my business, I never got funding from
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah.
Everything was done from my own pocket. And I think I did pretty well,
Yeah.
to where it is.
Yeah.
And how the brand just looks. You would think that maybe I got sponsored by
Yeah,
someone.
yeah.
But I didn't. So it was
Didn't, yeah.
painful for everyone who was close and connected to me to hear that I'm shutting down.
Yeah.
And I think my mom was just devastated. But in her being devastated, she wanted to also hug me and protect me.
Yeah.
That's why she was like, just come home.
Just come home, yeah.
just come home.
Yeah. So Tshego wa bolela, this
Yeah.
amazing thing blows up. People are sharing it, and we all went through the emotions. We all were just feeling your pain.
Yeah.
And we think, especially ho bona motho e leng hore, wazama.
Yeah.
She's a real hustler.
Yeah.
She's a real entrepreneur, I mean, she's not a quitter.
Yeah.
Pila, but
Yeah.
it's just that it's become so overwhelming for her at the moment. And as I saying, it was
Yeah.
painful to read. I mean, everybody's on a story and all of those things. So, take us through ho etsahetseng after that, because we saw the share ke batho and what. Yeah, just
Remember when she posted that I had already closed? I had already sent out
Oh.
a message that I'm closed.
so you spoke to her before and what's all so
Yeah.
how no
Like a
bolelle na
drop
no
of phone.
tswal
That's
no
what.
Phelies,
Yes, I
yeah,
was done. Because I was like, oh, you can share it, but whatever.
but yeah, but
know?
nah,
And like she said, in an hour, that post went viral.
Yeah.
And I think I got emotional because I never saw people, strangers, fight
Yeah.
for me the way that you guys did. It
Yeah.
was overwhelming, to
Yeah.
say the least.
yeah,
I then spoke to my landlord a couple of hours later
Yeah.
when she said, just ask for extension.
yeah,
And I can't even tell you what I said to that guy, because all I know is I was just crying.
Yeah.
And I was like, please, 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 please. And thank God he was gracious enough to say,
Yeah.
it's okay, I will let you until Friday.
yeah,
And from there, people just flooded.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah.
phone was. At some point, I was like, "Kill like no,
Oh,
I can't
Lord,
answer
no,
the
I
phone
can't answer the
anymore,"
phone. Yeah,
because
yeah,
every call that I would
because I'm
get,
sure you're anxious as well, yeah,
every call that I would get would just be someone saying, "Don't give up,
Yeah.
don't give up." And Brian, these are people that don't know me. I don't
Yeah,
know them.
yeah.
The following day, I remember there's a lady who came. And remember, at this point, I'm staying at the shop, right? Because I
Yeah.
had to let go of where I was staying because I couldn't afford to pay rent. And how kokota ka tshoha because
Yeah.
I'm not even dressed properly. I'm
Yeah.
like, so I opened the door and she's like, "When I would say, I'm like, yes, can I come in?" She walks in. She's like, "I read your story yesterday. I'm just here to pray for you."
Wow,
And I broke down.
wow,
Literally broke down. I cried like I've never cried before. Mama Zohong are that lady.
Yeah.
Her name is Tato. God
Yeah,
bless her
yeah,
soul.
yeah.
She prayed for me. Her
Yeah.
husband was then sitting outside in the car. And she prayed. And I think I cried more because after she prayed, she told me her story.
yeah,
And at that time,
yeah, yeah,
with what I've just heard this
Yeah,
lady
yeah,
went through,
yeah.
clearly there's other people who have gone through
Yes,
worse.
yeah.
And she's standing and she's
Yeah.
here praying for me.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do that, but she did it.
yeah,
And ge tumelo ya gago e tsoga.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
remember, I was dead. I was
yeah,
like, my spirit was revived. And after she left, 2 hours later, someone calls and is like, "I read your story. I want to order vegetables with
Yeah.
5,000 rand, but you'll deliver them next year. So whatever
Wow.
that you do, make sure that
Make sure,
you
yeah.
open those
Wow, wow, that's an amazing. Wow, that's.
doors." I was
that's
like,
really-
God, if I didn't
Yeah,
believe
God,
that
yeah,
you
no,
exist,
I was about.
now I know. Because
Yeah.
at that moment, I realized that God is saying it's not time
It's not time, yeah,
for you to quit.
Yeah.
I broke down. Like
Yeah.
literally from Tuesday to Wednesday or
Yeah.
Thursday, all I was doing was crying. If you
Yeah.
call me, I heard your story, I would just cry.
Even now, you still look emotional now, as you
Yes,
said,
'cause
and
it's
just.
unbelievable
Yeah.
what has happened from Monday.
And that's for
to
me. That's somebody that shows gratitude.
Yeah,
You're very
Yeah.
grateful, and I hope, and to even the people that are watching now, I hope you just get more help, more and more help, like just
No, it's been
further and further. Let you be
Yeah.
enriched, because this is such a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a lot. I don't even know what to say because people came and they fought
Yeah.
for my shop to be opened.
But,
Like from getting
yeah.
0 orders.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I would go a week
Yeah,
literally with
literally.
like 1 order.
Yeah, no,
And from
that's.
Tuesday I actually
Yeah.
I said I can't take orders Tuesday
Yeah.
because I was still
Yeah.
emotional. So from Wednesday up till today,
Yeah.
I think max is like 20 orders, 15
Yeah.
orders.
I wanted to say, how do you cope with that now? Remember now, Botshelo Huma. Uh, how do you get all these? How do you get around all these orders? We know that are coming in
Yeah.
at such a rapid pace.
I consider myself a very hard worker.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I've built this business,
yeah,
from the ground up. But I do, the lady that was employed permanently,
yeah,
unfortunately, she's still unemployed
yeah,
ever
yeah.
since. So when I have big orders, I would call her and she would come
Oh,
in for a
okay.
day or two. So that's
Yeah,
how I've survived
yeah,
this week. But yeah, she's fortunately available for me to use her as and when, and I'm hoping that by next month things would have picked up so that she can come back to work, so
yeah,
that she can also, find her feet again.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'd suppose you have somebody like Tshego to assist you, because I think what you've identified, and you said it yourself, Jorge, maybe the advertising, maybe the trying to do all these things by yourself, because in
Yeah.
all honesty. So some of those functions maybe need to be outsourced to Wena so that you can look at some core functions, and obviously as you grow, then you can start working on the business and not so much in it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Are you working towards, do you have a plan? Are you working towards a plan for that? Because I say that because obviously you don't want to find yourself
In the
in
same
that
position.
situation
Yeah.
again. Because
Yeah.
when this wave die down, when the dust settles.
Yeah, yeah. No, we definitely have a plan. I've got meetings set up with different people
Okay.
from different industries that are
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to help, with the problems that I've identified so that we can fix and grow the business. And I
Yeah.
think I'm one person who's very fortunate with having a very good circle of friends.
Yeah.
With the likes of, Tshego, who have also rallied behind me and said, this is what I do, so I'm gonna,
Yeah.
chip in and let's help you, strategize and find different ways of running the business so that it can grow from where it is right now. So definitely there is a plan to strategize and see how we can shift things and make things better.
And I think at this point, if there's anybody going through something similar to Honolulu, what would your message be to them? Anybody?
I think I would say surround yourself with like-minded people. It's very vital when you are an entrepreneur to be around other entrepreneurs because
Yeah.
they understand the struggles, they understand the hardships that
Yeah.
one would go through.
Absolutely, yeah.
Also, don't be scared in getting into rooms that you feel you are not qualified for because that's when you really get to learn and upskill yourself. I was telling the other guy the other day that I'm not a big fan of reading, but
Yeah.
ever since I've been in business, it literally pushes me to read, pick up a book and
Yeah.
read, so you don't have to listen to people saying you must go to Harvard.
Yeah,
No, use what you have.
Use what you
within
have, yeah.
To upskill yourself so that when you speak, you
Yeah.
can sound like someone who knows what they are doing.
Yeah.
So that you can be able to be invited in those tables that you feel you don't qualify for. So most importantly, surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with business-minded people. Surround yourself with people who are doing better than you because those
Of
are
course,
the people
yeah.
who will encourage and motivate
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
to do better. I always say you should never be apologetic about climbing up the ladder because
Yeah.
in life you will find people, yeah, asa tlakasi anymore, yeah, asa rebledisa anymore, but that's what life is. You move from this point to get to the other point so that you
Yeah.
can put your hand down and uplift other people,
Yeah.
So never apologize that utswile ko kasi wa ya ko santeni. As long as you are still coming and motivating and encouraging people ko kasi.
Yeah.
Because those are the stories that we want to say. It's possible that I can own a penthouse in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Get at Ridgeville.
Yeah.
As long as you are working hard and you are really putting in the work.
Yeah.
You need to be a hard worker.
Yeah.
Work hard. Don't give up. keep working. I mean, I work. I just knocked off now.
Yeah.
Since kids are not kitchen 4 a.m.
Yeah.
On Friday, 4 a.m. until
Wow.
10 p.m. 9 o'clock, I was delivering an order in Midrand.
Yeah.
And I do that because I remind myself that one day I'm going to look back and say it was worth it.
Yeah.
And it also makes me appreciate people that are drivers, people that
Yeah.
are working behind the scenes, because I've put in the work myself. I know
Yeah.
what it takes.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm working to build a legacy for my child so that my child doesn't meet, the challenges that I went through.
That you went through, yeah.
I need to pave the way and make it easier for her
Yeah. Yeah.
and the generation to come. So those are my words. Surround yourself with positive people and don't be scared to work hard.
Most patients on us is a space for a relationship. Oh, John. Because you're talking about your daughter and what, but I mean, you're still young. How do you?
Listen, after I got divorced,
Yeah.
I realized that it's very vital to be self-aware. And it's okay to say to yourself, I'm damaged. I'm not at a point where I can be someone's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because I never want to get into a relationship and be a liability
Yeah.
to someone.
Yeah.
I want to get into a relationship and be an asset. You need to feel
Yeah.
every day,
Yeah.
baby airtime, baby data.
Yeah.
I mean, those are basic things that I personally feel I should be in a point where I can do them myself.
Yeah.
Because I believe as a woman, I'm your helper as a man. So I shouldn't get to a point where I'm with you and I'm not helping you.
So
but
it's
I'm
not a
actually
time out,
making you-
George.
No. Right now,
Okay.
right now, the focus is on building my business.
But do you think you even have time for that?
No, I
if
don't
you had to, you don't.
No, I think I will be shame. It was on. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
The Netflix and chill Friday.
Yeah.
I don't
The
have
guys
time
is
for
all,
that.
yeah, at the
Friday,
moment,
I'm busy
yeah.
chopping 30 kg cabbage.
Yeah.
Yaliso. So,
Yeah.
focus balancing.
Focus a balance for now, yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
come for me. Don't.
Yeah,
text
go,
me.
yeah. Don't inbox, don't do anything.
Not
Don't ask
available.
me as well
I'm not
to hook
available.
you up. Uli buditsa, akere? So Botshelo, a re tolokenyana ka Pheli. Wena o itse o ka re Pheli o adopted. Ka lo le mo Pheli. Because in the background re boletse ka bo di TTs, re boletse ka bo di Hills Lounge, ke re bana Botshelo mos.
Yeah.
Hey.
Remember, I go to the same church as your previous
Yeah.
Tshego. So the church is like everywhere. So
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously, on the conference, the youth, what
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then we all come together and
Yeah.
eat, and that's how I became friends with your likes of Tshego Kekana, your
Yeah.
likes of Thabiso Po.
Yeah.
Tshego
Is it Thabiso Po?
Yes.
Wow.
Very good buddy of mine.
Wow, yeah. Nail tech.
Yes,
Yeah, le bona
nail
re
tech.
ba etla se khale, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've known those people for more than 10 years.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
when I learned that there's a thing called cooler box,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would literally get in a taxi,
Yeah.
26
Yeah.
in the morning,
With the cooler box.
and I would come.
Yeah,
At least
you
we
wouldn't
would
want to
pack
miss
and
that.
all,
Yeah. Come back. Yeah.
And I did that, I think, for a good 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Literally, like, kisa
Miss,
ski.
yeah.
And obviously, I was parking at a TTC.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Pretoria for school,
Yeah.
obviously, I mean, Pheli already, I know people,
Yeah.
it's home.
Yeah.
Headed Hills Lounge, really thing, Dibula,
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
I
And
think,
Ronze le mo Pheli at some point.
yes, I was staying
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Atteridgeville for a year now,
Yeah.
last year. So it's home.
Yeah, it's
you know.
home,
A lot
yeah.
of people actually think I was born and bred here.
Yeah, Len, I thought so.
No.
To be honest, because I said I think I bumped into you.
You've
Some
bumped
look
into
at
me a
Maro
couple of
Pheli,
places,
yeah. But
yeah.
when you mentioned,
Yeah.
but ba in common between
Yeah.
them, I was like, oh, no, it makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
those are good friends, and we've been friends for a while. So
Yeah.
it's home,
Yeah.
If I had to choose anywhere else in Pretoria,
Yeah.
to stay. And I think it's safe. I love it. It's
Yeah,
safe. I don't
yeah.
feel any type of way when I drive at night,
Yeah.
So I always vouch for
Ngilo jola mo
okay.
Pheli. O kana se mention or mang, man ngilo
I'm
jola.
trying to think.
Yeah, kana se me mention.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You did, eh?
I did.
Yeah. I know that Pheli was jolly more Pheli.
No, actually, heke jola mo Pheli, next time no mo Pheli. I was staying in town, but the guy was
Was one more Pheli,
Yes.
yeah.
So I don't know, but something about Atrijil and me, maybe
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
getting again from someone. Who was
Yeah, who knows, yeah.
You never know.
But you got good things to say about it, ne?
No, I love Atrijil.
Yeah.
I love Atrijil. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, if I had to choose which kasi to stay
Yeah,
in,
to stay in, yeah.
number one.
And I love that you got a lot of love with your current situation or
Yeah.
your Ntwela from Pheli.
Definitely. And even before
yeah.
the post, I got a lot of clients because
Yeah.
the friend that I was staying with,
Yeah.
Lebo Ramunyai, she's the owner of
Oh,
Creativity
Levo, yeah.
Enhanced.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've
So,
got so many people who are Sakakamba. I don't know.
yeah.
It's like
So a very
it's
good
amazing
friend.
people. I know
Yeah.
Liana, she's got an amazing business story.
Beautiful
I've
business.
seen her
Yeah.
come through. Yo, wow, yeah.
So she would always advertise for me, and obviously because she's got a
Okay.
big following more at TV.
Yeah.
You know, people would order, and so the love has been there. I think now it's just more enhanced.
Yeah,
You know, and I will
yeah.
forever be grateful that they also look at me as their own.
Yeah, no,
the
we
love
do.
has been
No, we
amazing.
do.
Yeah.
We absolutely do.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you so much.
I just want to wish you all the best, really.
Thank you.
It's an amazing story. I hope Neludwa, I hope you're checking her out. This is a beautiful story. This is what we bring you here, Mo Phelieville podcast, so that you can see how it's good to dream and set the limit of dream. This is a beautiful story. Yeah, tenacity. Yeah, somebody who stuck it out and is still doing the same thing. So please subscribe to Phelieville podcast. Like, share.
Can she please sing?
Oh yeah. Ba le ko khopela ro pele. Ya ba le khopela o tlo producer bolela go bilong khatile.
Producer's request.
Bilong khatile ba re khopelo o pele.
Please sing for us.
Hanyane. I almost forgot that. Please, Botshelo
And I was
Robel.
allowing you to forget.
Yeah, no ntebatsa mara ro krile.
Yo, guys, what am I gonna sing?
Just the nice nyana ntwela.
Now I'm in my walk.
Re serenade nyana, maybe some nice house, whatever you sang in the past.
What's Monique BM's big song?
Kind of take you my heart, take me to my heart. Yeah. Take you to my heart, take me to my. Now I can't
That
sing.
song's that-
Someone said taxi to my heart. Me bra. What are you drinking? Weekly Semo. Unule. Taxi to my heart.
Oh, okay. If this is how love's supposed. What's the name of the song? Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
If this is how love's supposed to be, I don't want it. Don't want it. If this is how love's supposed to be, I don't want it. Don't want it. What was I thinking when I gave you my everything? This love game is a give and take, and you took everything. No.
Guys, kupala le mo bukeng. Kupala le mo bukeng. She doesn't only chop veggies, but she sings and le mutlile, please. So weddings, you name it, the gigging, please.
Thank you.
Botshelo, it's been an absolute pleasure to
Thank
have
you
you
for
here.
having me.
Yeah, where can people follow you?
Business, personal, business.
Yeah.
Ready Chop Veggies on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's ready_chopped_veggies.
Yeah.
Ready Chop Veggies on Facebook. Ready Chop Veggies on TikTok. Our number to order is 067-056-7273.
Okay. And for bookings, it's our opera.
Same number.
Same number.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you so much. Like we said, tune in, subscribe, and watch out for more coming episodes. Botshelo, thank you.
Thank you.